Hey everybody, it's Nicole. So I'm on here today using an app called Canva, Canva. You can see it in the top of the screen there. And it is a graphic design app. It's free. You can pay a subscription or pay if you want to do the pro version where it gives you different options. And I think if you do a pro design, it's like $1 or something, and you get to use that as many times as you want. Um, I'm not affiliated with him. I just use it all the time, and I was telling you about it because it's a good way to help you track different things you want to do in your life. It's also a great way to like create business cards, make a website, um, all things. It's insane what they have. YouTube videos, um, Instagram videos, anything you could imagine, it's on there. So it's a great resource. I use it all the time. So um, what I wanted to show you was this pathway to making major life changes in my starting over series that I'm working on, that I've been uploading videos for. I know I discuss uh, things that you can do um, with college and community college and different things like that to make, to move forward no matter where you are in life and what's gone on in the past. But I thought it would be good if I made a chart here to explain like how to go about making that change like in your mind and how to help you get there. Obviously, well, it takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and a lot of time. But these are some things that I've learned over the years. And along with explaining my graph here, my chart, you can see how Canva works. This is the whiteboard setting on Canva. So, anyways, I just made it small, decrease the size so you could see the chart in general. So, you start here, you go to this step, you go to this step, you go to this step, and then you're on your way. These are little sticky notes that you can drag. Sorry, not like that. You can drag it over. So, say you were working on this step and you wanted to say, you make a little note to yourself and say, a name of a person or something you wanted to be accomplished, and then you check it off your list. You just go ahead and um, type right in there. So you can say like, sorry, um, it's really small. So let me increase the size here. Name of person I am going to work with, or anything you want to say. So these are really cool. So I can just go ahead and delete that. There's a lot of settings on here. You can put videos on there. You can do anything you want. And like I said, this is just like one of hundreds of options. So here it is, pathway to making major life changes. This is what I'm calling it. Um, Lots of years of therapy helped me understand how to do this. So the first thing you want to do is be honest. Let me just make this a little bigger for you. Okay, first step, be honest about your current situation. So, a lot of times we don't fully fix our problem because we're not honest with it. Even if we go to therapy, we may not be honest with our therapist. So, you have to be really, really honest about what, you know, what is the problem? What are the problems you're facing? Why do you think you're facing them? Those kinds of things. Um, that's the first step to fixing anything, is being very real. Second, understand that this is the most difficult step to take. You have to take the emotions and social norms out of your processing, your, you know, mental processing. So it is by far, I believe, the most difficult step, because there are a lot of emotions attached to people that we care about and that are supposed to care about us. There's history with people. Um, and then there's, social norms where people are like, well, that's wrong for you to think like that, or you shouldn't say those things about somebody, or they deserve your respect, those kinds of things. As I've said in one of my other videos, um, I think it's called you have options to thrive. Um, it's in my series that pops up towards the end of this video, so the whole playlist. Um, anyways, so social norms are kind of toxic because they're created by people who have this like blanket statement that we're all supposed to follow, not regarding like what's actually gone on in the reality. When somebody has been horrible to us, like, we're not required to um show them respect. You just walk away. And so yeah, I believe that's the most difficult, and that's part of being honest. You write out what those people have done to you, or what you've done to other people. I mean, this may be about you need to take responsibility for what you've done. Um and it goes along the same thing. Be honest with what you have done, not and really understand, you know write it out, explain to yourself what's going on. Think about removing yourself from the scenario and replacing with an external person. How would you respond or feel to that person? What advice would you give that person? That's helped me a lot. Um, the Because I didn't value myself, it was okay that those bad things were happening to me, and I always gave excuses. Um, and didn't care about how it affected me as much as I would care if it was somebody else. And then so one of my pastors one day, a long time ago, said, "What if you were talking to a 12-year-old girl down the street?" And I was like, and he says, "What if she told you all of those things that were happening to her?" And I was like, "What?" I was horrified. I thought like, "Oh my gosh." And then also my therapist says, "What if it was your child? How would you um fix a situation for your child?" So unfortunately, when we go through a lot of abuse and trauma, or we've been in bad situations, either way, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if we've been the victim, or we've caused other things to happen, and we've gone down a bad situation and like made bad choices. Either way, we still don't feel good about ourselves. We feel worthless. We feel like we don't deserve to be treated well, and we feel like, "Oh, well, we're getting what we deserve, and we should just, you know, deal with it and move on like we always do." But if you take yourself out of the situation and you put it to like a fictitious person, doesn't even have to be somebody you just anybody, and you think of, that 16-year-old, or a young man who's 17 who's in that situation, a young man who is 10 years old who's in that situation, a young girl who is in that situation at 13, and you think about what what would you feel for that person? What would you do for that person? What advice would you give that person? What would you think inside, like, um, wow, they need this and this and this, or this is horrible. And a lot of us are older now and thinking about things in the past with us, and this is why we're in these situations, because we've gone through a lot of stuff. But you have to go through that to understand where you are, why you're here, and be honest with your situation. So you have to think about the past and what's happened and put it in the right perspective, the correct perspective. Now, I'm a big believer when we're young, It's really not our fault. There's circumstances that have created that situation for us, whether it was, in our families, just society in general, poverty, all those things. I feel like even if even if we made choices that were quote unquote our fault and our choice, you're still a kid and you're doing the best with what you have and what you're shown and the abilities that you have. So part of this is moving on, um, and making better choices and understanding the desperation that most of us had because of bad situations, and not making those mistakes again, kind of dealing with those, understanding where it came from, putting the blame where it belongs. It's important to put the blame where it belongs, especially if adults were responsible. It's their fault. So it just is. So you're a child. And if they drop the ball, then it's on them. And it's really helpful to do that. Not that you're like, oh, it's all your fault, this and this and this. And I take no responsibility for anything. And I'm just going to sit here and be sad. Okay. Yeah, you can sit and be sad, but you do have to move forward and understand that your choices that you made were likely, first of all, you were a child and you're just trying to survive the best you can. But the choices you made were influenced by a desperate situation or an abusive situation, traumatic situation, or multiple, and everything combined. And so now that you're an adult and you have this idea where I'm going to make my life different, I'm going to be better, I'm going to do better, I'm not going to go down the same path I went down, then you have to understand like the reality of what went on, be really, really honest about it. Um, Even though it's really painful to do that. And a lot of times we want to take the blame for everything. And don't do that. Don't. Especially if you were a child. Okay. Next step. Address the people and circumstances causing the situation to be unsuccessful. So currently, the situation you're in is unsuccessful. You are not happy with it. You don't want to go back down the same path you were just down. You want to make a big change so your future is different and you have control of your life and you can make the decisions the way they need to be made for you to be successful, whatever that means for you. Okay. So you have to address the people and circumstances that are causing this situation to be like this. So maybe you're around a bad group of people, point blank, like some people are just not healthy. I'm going to move this arrow like over here so we can see everything together. And they may be people that you've been with your whole life. They may be people that you love and you can still love them, but you need to walk away. So part of addressing those people, I say addressing people takes varying forms. Writing a letter for yourself only to read, not to give. Making a list of what they or the circumstance are doing to hold you back. And if you feel like you need to personally discuss this with a person or people, do so knowing that this will likely not result in the change you want from them or from the circumstance. So that's a lot right there, but it makes us crazy crazy, like we lose, it drives us to be feeling crazy when we do a lot of stuff to try to make the situation better, but the person or the circumstance continues on being the way it is. And then we think, I'll do this now and it'll make it better. And it's not better. And now I'm going to do this and it doesn't work. Chances are that that person is not going to change just because you have this revelation in your mind. Or if they are continuing that behavior while you're trying really hard to do something different, they're not going to change. And, hopefully they do for themselves, but that's not your problem to worry about. My therapist always says it's not for you to try to understand why people are the way they are. It's only for you to try to fix your situation. And that's really good advice. It is not my job to try to figure out why you are the way you are. I love you, but you're not good for me. You're not healthy for me. And when you want to be a supportive person in my life, I'll be, you know, open to discussing. But for now, like, you're not. And, I've had to do this with, family, and it was really hard on me, but it was really good because uh, there was no way I could raise my children and be the mother that I am if I wouldn't have done that. So, writing a letter for yourself, that's very good. Like, writing it or speaking into a microphone, making a video, whatever you want to do, just getting it out of your head is so helpful because this stuff just goes around and around and around in our head, and we are like obsessed with it, and then it's just chaotic and we never fix it. So it's really hard for me to do this step because it's too painful. When I write stuff out, it's very real, and it hurts, and it makes me really sad, and I don't wanna do it, and I'm, like, scared of what I'm gonna write, basically. And I've been in therapy for 7 years, and it's still hard for me to do that. But it's something when I do it, I realize, "Wow," you know, "I got it out." So there's something, um it's really interesting, but you are physically taking the stuff out of your brain and putting it onto paper or onto an audio clip or onto a video or something like that, onto a drawing, however you need to do it. You're actually taking it into a song, whatever. You're actually taking it out of your head and putting it onto something. And it seems funny to say that, but it really works. And really, at this point, whatever works that's healthy is wonderful. So you just do it. Make a list of what they or the circumstance are doing to hold you back. Be really honest again. Um, you have to say, you know, you did this, you did that, you are doing this. This situation makes me feel like that. Those kinds of things. And then again, like we said, the people are likely not going to change. The circumstance is likely not going to change because you've addressed it. So, like a job, for instance, that's toxic, or a job that doesn't respect you. The people don't respect you there. They're not going to like change because you said, "I don't feel like I'm being respected here." It's when people are taking advantage or doing harm. Um, they have their own issues, and they're likely, if they haven't thought in their brain, like, I shouldn't do this to somebody else and I might be hurting that other person, um, they don't have like empathy. So when you come to them with your problems and want them to help and be better so your life can be better, n- they're not really caring. So it's unfortunate. Again, being honest, be really honest. Second part, begin to understand that this will likely be a lonely and non-supported transition. And that is okay because you are removing yourself from the garbage. Um, I like that my therapist uses the garbage. He says, you jumped into the garbage dump today. How'd that go? One time he said to me, so you're all dressed up and ready to go out, and there's a bologna sandwich that's only got one bite out of it, and you just really want to go get that bologna sandwich, and you think to yourself, I'm just going to jump in really quick to the garbage dump and get it, and it'll be fine. So you do that and you come out. How do you smell? How do you look now? Do you still look nice and all put together and ready for your date? Do you still smell good? Do you feel good? you know? And that's what he convinced me about. I had to think like that about my family. They're the garbage dump. They were the garbage dump. Like, that's rough. That's sad. But true, you know? So you're going into the garbage dump when you're dealing with people or situations that are holding you back and that are, hurting you, really. And so it will be lonely. You probably won't have friends anymore. Your family will kind of disown you, or if it's about them. Um, but that's okay because you're going to make new people that are going to be healthy. And there's probably going to be a few only, not a lot. But that's okay too. And not just that, it's about you. It's not about anybody else. You need this time to be alone. You need this time to focus on yourself. So, I lost a lot of friends, and my therapist told me to, imagine a person. Imagine somebody that wanted, me to come home, and somebody that, like, a mother figure that wanted me to, wanted to love me. It can just be an imaginary person, it's kinda crazy, but, like, really, we can we can do anything if we just think about it differently. So, the goal is for you to have a different life, a better life, and the people that are healthy will be around, and the people that aren't and they're not supportive, they'll be gone. And it's better for you that they're gone. And you wish them well, and that's it. So, yeah, addressing people and circumstances that are causing this situation to be unsuccessful. These are like the hardest parts. All of this is the hardest part. Okay, next, create a plan to change the undesirable situation. You can use something like this, like Canva, or draw it out, write it out, make a list, anything you want. Um, you can do research on, whatever your interests are, and send me comments if you want to. Send me questions, and I'd be happy to help and go through this, because I'm pretty sure if you have that question, other people have that question too. And other people have that issue and they want to figure it out. So, in anything, like, I am not offended by circumstances or situations. I've been through it and I understand it, and I'm happy to help in any situation. So, don't be shy. Okay, create a plan to change the undesirable situation. So, write it all out. Make sure you make a visible reminder that you see throughout the day. I used to take my phone and put an alarm, and I did it twice a day, and it said, read deprogramming. So my deprogramming was my writing of all the stuff that the people who have hurt me have done to me. And from like worst to least. So I forced myself at like 11 in the morning and 11 at night, with babies running around and, 4 children and all this stuff. I forced myself to read the painful truth. And it was honest. It wasn't, and it was like specific information. It wasn't just like that person hurt me. I explained like what that person did. And if I thought of more things, unfortunately, if I thought of more things, I would write it down on the list of deprogramming. But I would wake up uh with flashbacks, and I had these horrible things going on, and it was really hard. It was really hard, especially with babies everywhere. But, you know, that's how you get through it. You've got to heal your mind. You've got to heal what's going on in there to make life changes, to make major life changes. When I'm saying this, I'm saying, like, I'm thinking of somebody who is in a really bad situation and they need their life to be better and they want their life to be better. Maybe they've gone to prison, maybe they've done some really horrific things because of circumstances and they want to be a different person. They want, and I'm a different person. Like sometimes I think like I don't even know who that person was. Those first 30 years, like who was that? But then I think of some of the things I accomplished along the way, like with my education. I did that because it made me feel good about myself. It was a struggle, but it made me feel good about myself. And there are benefits to some of the bad situations you've been in. There are some characteristics that were created in those situations that are really valuable. For instance, um, I don't know how to say this without kind of being offensive, but like living in a gang life, there's a lot of management that goes along with that. I mean, dealing with people that you may not get along with, having to have common goals. There's obviously like business, money, and things that you're selling that are, you know, likely illegal, but either way. So, and then managing, working your way to the top, making sure that you are loyal and you do not mess up and you follow your word and you follow your job and do all the things you're supposed to do. Anyways, there's a lot of things that are valuable even with like criminal behavior. I'm not saying that you should do criminal behavior to and then because there's valuable skills. I'm saying you can look at your past even though it may be wrong choices were made and or bad things happened, and you can say, what did I learn from that? What kind of skills do I have? What am I good at? I might be really good at some of those things that can translate into the healthy world, non-illegal healthy world. And likely if you did go to prison and if you had horrific situations occur, it was because of living in that life where you were making living in that criminal life. And so anyways, that's just like an example that I think about sometimes. So making so this is exactly why I have charts and why I show this is why I do everything in screen share, because I have ADD and I'll just like talk forever about random stuff. So sorry for doing that. Um anyways, so make sure you make it a visible reminder that you see throughout the day. It can be all sorts of things, but like I said, I read this painful stuff twice a day and I did that for years. I still have it, and sometimes I have to look at it to remind myself. Okay? So, this will keep you on your plan that you're creating. Okay? So this is the first step. So, in your creating a plan to change the undesirable situation, you have responses that protect you, that are already prepared for the people that may be jealous or try to convince you to go backwards. So, uh, and then find healthy people to surround yourself with if you can. Likely people who are removed from your normal environment. Major changes are not easy, but they are so empowering as you are taking control of your future and creating a space for you to continue to flourish and improve. Absolutely. Like, the more you do it, the easier it gets. The first time you have to do this, and you may have to do this whole thing like multiple times with different situations and different types of people, and that's okay. But the first time you do this, you break the ice, you break through and you're empowered at that point. You're like, I've done this. I I can do this again. And you're empowering yourself. That's how we do that. And you're the only one who's going to make your life better. I promise you. Like, that's you're the only one who's going to be able to do that. So this is a great way to start. So um a lot of times I'll think, "Oh, that's too hard." But then I think about what I've been through and I'm like, been through worse. I can handle this. So think of that. You've likely been through worse. This is all for you. You're doing this for you to save yourself, to save your future, to create a good future for yourself, to make it to where you can be a positive person, successful person in this world, and maybe make changes and help other people. So, having responses that protect you already prepared for the people that may be jealous and try to convince you to go backwards. So, sorry, already prepared. So, these are like note cards. I used to keep some note cards by my phone, and they were like 3x5 note cards. And if the person called me and they started acting the way that they normally acted, I would have these like canned responses. And they were really helpful because I wasn't going to go down, it wasn't letting me go down the path of, I'm sorry, and feeling sad, and then getting mad, and then feeling bad about myself, and then feeling like a horrible person, and all that stuff. It was like completely like cutting off the conversation with a very like dry, not insensitive, but just like a bleh response. Well, I hope that works out for you. You know, like what's a person gonna say when you say that? You know, um, so there's some responses that you can have that are unemotional, that are really helpful, and the person has nothing they can say. They can't do anything. So you can have these cards that you just read to the person when they contact you, or now we don't even have to answer the phone. So I blocked for years. I blocked people that I loved. I had to, because I had anxiety thinking about when they might send me a message, thinking about when they might call, and preparing myself for the drama and the trauma of it, and then crying, and then shaking, and then, still having children to take care of and trying to keep myself together, which I somehow always did, hiding in a bathroom in the middle of the night crying. And so, anyways, I blocked them. And, blocking them made it to where I knew that there was no way I was going to get a message from them, and I didn't have anxiety about it. So I was scared, and because I felt bad that the person might get mad at me for doing that. But um it- really, it was better to be scared, and then over a few weeks it got better, and eventually, like, I didn't even care anymore. And I had to do that multiple times with with the same people, different. In my life. So, um, uh, likely people who are removed from your normal environment will be the healthy people that surround you. You may not have anybody that's healthy to surround you. Um, I have yet to find people who actually care, which is really sad. But people that I have, my cousin who's been there for me, she's the only person, like, my whole life. So that's sad, but it's okay. It's, of course, I have my children and my husband, but you would hope people would like remember you or care about what's going on. Also, to be fair, I never talk about my problems with people. I talk about them with her. Um, we're funny together, and so, but I don't really talk about them, and so maybe those people didn't know. Also, my oldest daughter, who's 16, so she's like tells me the truth about everything. She says that, like, I push people away, so I probably do, and when I get too close. So, anyways, it's sad and kinda lonely, but, like, would I rather be in the situation I was in all those years? No. So, it's what it is, and I'm trying to be the best, person I can be for my children, So that's more important than not having, other people that care about me. What's most important is my kids see that you can make it and you have control and you make changes and you remain a good person. So that's it. So, okay, blue. Let me move this over here. Let me move this right here. Sorry. Just showing you how, also, it's so easy. And of course, because I am like always having to make things particular, I wanted to like match up there. It doesn't. It doesn't. Okay. We can just take that one off there. Okay. So execute the plan of action with determination only. So this is like your last step. Although you're going to be going through these other steps like along the way again and again because things change. And that's okay because you've done it and you know how to do it and you're going to continue and you're going to continue on and you're going to be successful. And you know that you're going to be successful because you're determined to be successful. And like I said, you've been through worse. I'm pretty sure you've been through worse and you can do this. So execute the plan of action with determination only. That means you are determined to do it. There is nothing that's going to stop you from doing it. And you're going to do it with as much grace as possible, but always with love for yourself and realizing that you need a healthy, supportive uh, community around you to be a healthy human. And so as you walk through your plan, you are convincing yourself every day that you have the strength to do this and you will reach your goals. Kind of just what I said. So you can set a reminder on your phone to have those statements. You can have a reminder on your phone to remember the people and circumstances that are bad for you and why they're bad for you. Like I said, my deprogramming. And then you can have reminders on your phone to tell you, motivational statements and just talk to yourself about, you can have audio recordings that you record on your phone and then you listen to them. There's like so many cool things you can do now. So as you walk through your plan, you are convincing yourself every day throughout the day that you have the strength to do this and you will reach your goals. Yes, that's what you have to do. You have to say, okay, next step. Remember that things will never go according to the plan exactly. That is okay. You adjust, make the appropriate changes and corrections, and keep working towards your goal. So there's always going to be things getting in the way, and there's going to be unforeseen situations. There's going to be setbacks. There's going to be financial issues, maybe health issues. It's okay. You just have to um, keep your main goal at the top of the list, your priority at the top of the list, and you always work your decisions are based on what that priority is. So if something hits you in the way, something gets in the way, you readjust and you say, okay, now where am I? Where am I now? And what's the next best step I can take to get to that the main priority I have, the number one priority I have. And make these goals attainable. So like, something where you say I'm going to be a millionaire, that's attainable, absolutely. But like that's too vague. It has to be specific. So all of these goals need to be specific. What are you going to do to be the millionaire? Well, now million is like not even a lot when I was I'm so old. So like, you know what I mean? Successful in all the ways that you want to be. So, um it has to be like you have to explain which things are going to make you get there. So you work on the first thing that makes you get there, then you work on the second thing, and then the third thing. And you can do this process along the way with every single thing you're working on. So, and just know that there's going to be setbacks and things are going to happen, and it's okay. It's okay. So, sometimes those things are supposed to happen, and then it makes you take a different path. And had you not taken that path because that thing happened, then you wouldn't have had this opportunity that occurred. So, you just really don't know, but you just got to keep going. Keep going. And then at the end, right, you are on a healthy path to a future you are proud of. Remember, I say healthy. I don't say right and wrong, because healthy is a great way to ask yourself if something is good for you or not. Not right or wrong, because right and wrong are social norms. Right and wrong are what people tell you. That's the wrong thing to do. Well, is it the healthy thing for me to do? No. Is this the healthy thing? Yes. Okay. Healthy, and everybody's answer to that is different according to where you are, what you've been through, what you need, all of those things. So you are on your healthy path to a future you are proud of. And right here, I say it may look different than you planned or imagined, but that's the intriguing part, which I just kind of said. That's the fun part. You have no idea. You have no idea what's really going to happen with this, but you're making the step towards the highest priority on your list. Okay. So you can take these little post-it notes and write what you want, put them in different places. I'm sorry. Let me make this a little bit smaller. You can put these in different places. Like down here, what are you going to do with that? Over here, what am I going to use for my plan? Um, how am I going to execute my plan of action? Um, what am I going to do? Which steps am I going to take? That kind of stuff. And then over here, this one just came with it. I didn't make this. It just comes with these templates and you just fill it out, which is really cool. Let's end this session with action items. So these are like, this is for like jobs, for career, office personnel and stuff like that. But you would go along with your graphic that we just designed and you would say, okay, so right here, the purple, be honest about your current situation. Okay, action item, be honest. Um, and describe, no, I guess I'll just leave it like that. Situation. Okay, so I would probably say like, plan to complete action. Okay, so however you want to, you want to do that. You want to uh, write out, you know, uh, daily whatever. Okay, write out daily what I remember about this and this and this. So this is kind of what you can do. So you can use something like this. Like I said, it's really easy to use. I can show you. Oh no, I don't know that I can with the screen share, but it's Canva right up here. You can see Canva. It's linked to your Google account. So it's really easy to use. So anyways, sorry, I was trying to make it so you could see it while I'm finishing up here. This is very boomer of me, I know. I'm not a boomer, but teenagers say I am. Okay. Okay. Well, that's just what it is. Okay. So I wanted you to understand that you have options. Um, you don't have to continue on the same life that you've been living or that is not healthy for you. And it's all in your shoes. You know, you have the option, you have the choices to make, and you have the ability to do this. Okay. Well, have a good day. I'll see you again soon. Bye.